Alright, so today we shall practice English conversations. Now here are a few examples where we shall learn how to say a sentence in active and in passive verb. Example 1, they were hidden. In passive, someone hid them. Again, in passive, no one hid them. In active, they weren't hidden. Now just like this, first one sentence will be active, it will be converted into passive, and then another sentence will be in passive, that would be converted into active. Example 2, she hasn't been informed. No one has informed her. Someone has informed her. She's been informed. Example 3, I am being deceived. Someone is deceiving me. No one is deceiving me. I'm not being deceived. They won't be assisted. No one will assist them. Someone will assist them. They'll be assisted. You could be accused. Someone could accuse you. No one could accuse you. You couldn't be accused. Example 6, we weren't complimented. No one complimented us. Someone complimented us. We were complimented. Example 7, that had to be admitted. Someone had to admit that. No one had to admit that. That didn't have to be admitted. Example 8, he isn't encouraged. No one encourages him. Someone encourages him. He's encouraged. Example 9, they were broke. Someone broke them. No one broke them. They weren't broke. Example 10, that didn't used to be done. No one used to do that. Someone used to do that. That used to be done. Example 11, we are being blamed. Someone is blaming us. No one is blaming us. We aren't being blamed. Example 12, you won't be embarrassed. No one will embarrass you. Someone will embarrass you. You will be embarrassed. Example 13, they aren't advised. No one advises them. Someone advises them. They are advised. Example 14, it's been unwrapped. Someone has unwrapped it. No one has unwrapped it. It hasn't been unwrapped. Example 15, that must not be assumed. No one must assume that. Someone must assume that. That must be assumed. Now here are a few examples where we shall learn how we can say or ask about different things using the same kind of conversation. Did John tell you the news? Yes, I hear that they are removing it. Why is it being removed? I really can't answer that. Did John tell you the news? Yes, I hear that they fastened them. Why were they fastened? I really can't answer that. Did John tell you the news? Yes, I hear that they had to translate it. Why did it have to be translated? I really can't answer that. Did John tell you the news? Yes, I hear that they have opposed it. Why has it been opposed? I really can't answer that. Did John tell you the news? Yes, I hear that they must return them. Why must they be returned? I really can't answer that. Did John tell you the news? Yes, I hear that they were considering it. Why was it being considered? I really can't answer that. Did John tell you the news? Yes, I hear that they will modify them. Why will they be modified? I really can't answer that. Did John tell you the news? Yes, I hear that they distributed it. Why was it distributed? I really can't answer that. Now here's a similar example. Can you tell me who broke that glass? I know, I didn't break it. I think it was broken last night. I still can't tell you who did it. Instead, let's try something else. Can you tell me who brought these boxes? I know, I didn't bring them. I think they were brought last night. I still can't tell you who did it. Now let's try something else. Can you tell me who took that book? I know, I didn't take it. I think it was taken last night. I still can't tell you who did it. Can you tell me who lost those tickets? I know, I didn't lose them. I think they were lost last night. I still can't tell you who did it. Can you tell me who drove my car? I know, I didn't drive it. I think it was driven last night. I still can't tell you who did it. Can you tell me who sent those letters? I know, I didn't send them. I think they were sent last night. I still can't tell you who did it. Can you tell me who drank all the milk? I know, I didn't drink it. I think it was drunk last night. I still can't tell you who did it. Can you tell me who did the work? I know, I didn't do it. I think it was done last night. I still can't tell you who did it. Now here are a few sample conversations with noun clause versus question. Where's the public library? I beg your pardon? Can you tell me where the library is? 2 blocks from here, on the right. How do you say that in English? I don't remember how you say that in English. Who can help us with this? Let's ask Peary who can help us with it. Why were you absent? I can tell you why I was absent. Where did you go? I can't tell you where I went either. Whom did Alice write to yesterday? She hasn't told me whom she wrote to. What did she write about? She hasn't told me what she write about either. What are they doing? I can't imagine what they are doing. When will they finish? I have no idea when they'll finish. Now here are a few examples where we shall learn about noun clause versus question. First, we shall hear a statement, then we will find out what will be the question to that. Example 1. I can tell you where they study. Now the question to this will be, where do they study? Example 2. I can tell you when they can study. Now the question to this will be, when can they study? Example 3. I can tell you what they had to study. Now the question to this will be, what did they have to study? Example 4. I can tell you what they have studied. Now the question to this will be, what have they studied? Example 5. I can tell you how much they studied. Now the question to this will be, how much did they study? Example 6. I can tell you where they are studying. Now the question to this will be, where are they studying? Example 7. I can tell you why they won't study. Now the question to this will be, why won't they study? Example 8. I can tell you when they are going to study. Now the question to this will be, when are they going to study? Example 9. I can tell you what part they didn't study. Now the question to this will be, what part didn't they study? Example 10. I can tell you where they usually study. Now the question to this will be, where do they usually study? Example 11. I can tell you which one they studied. Now the question to this will be, which one did they study? Example 12. I can tell you when they must study. Now the question to this will be, when must they study? Example 13. I can tell you what they used to study. Now the question to this will be, what did they used to study? Example 14. I can tell you how long they should study. Now the question to this will be, how long should they study? Example 15. I can tell you where they have been studying. Now the question to this will be, where have they been studying? Example 16. I can tell you what they are going to study. Now the question to this will be, what are they going to study? Example 17. I can tell you why they can't study. Now the question to this will be, why can't they study? Example 18. I can tell you which one they are studying. Now the question to this will be, which one are they studying? Example 19. I can tell you when they usually study. Now the question to this will be, when do they usually study? Example 20. I can tell you which one they would better study. Now the question to this will be, Which one had they better study? Now, here are a few examples of short conversations where we shall learn how to quickly answer a question or shortly answer a question and ask a further question to it. Example 1. Haven't you heard what she will write? No. What will she write? Example 2. Haven't you heard why she couldn't write? No. Why couldn't she write? Example 3. Haven't you heard how often she writes? No. How often does she write? Example 4. Haven't you heard where she's writing? No. Where's she writing? Example 5. Haven't you heard what she's written? No. What has she written? Example 6. Haven't you heard how much she wrote? No. How much did she write? Example 7. Haven't you heard what she has to write? No. What does she have to write? Example 8. Haven't you heard when she should write? No. When should she write? Example 9. Haven't you heard whom she used to write to? No. Whom did she used to write to? Example 10. Haven't you heard what she's going to write? No. What is she going to write? Example 11. Haven't you heard how much she must write? No. How much must she write? Example 12. Haven't you heard how long she was writing? No. How long was she writing? Example 13. Haven't you heard when she usually writes? No. When does she usually write? Example 14. Haven't you heard which one she would better write? No. Which one had she better write? Example 15. Haven't you heard where she has been writing? No. Where has she been writing? Example 16. Haven't you heard what she has written? No. What has she written? Example 17. Haven't you heard which one she's going to write? No. Which one is she going to write? Example 18. Haven't you heard what she plans to write? No. What does she plan to write? Example 19. Haven't you heard how much she wrote? No. How much did she write? Now, here are a few more examples of short conversations. Where will he be? I don't know where he'll be. Why did she leave? I don't know why she left. Who's that man? I don't know who that man is. When did they return? I don't know when they returned. Where's John going? I don't know where John is going. Where does she live? I don't know where she lives. When did they arrive? I don't know when they arrived. When are they leaving? I don't know when they are leaving. Why was she absent? I don't know why she was absent. Why didn't she return? I don't know why she didn't return. Why did Mary buy it? I don't know why Mary bought it. Who's that tall man? I don't know who that tall man is. Who's doing the work? I don't know who's doing the work. Who wrote this paper? I don't know who wrote this paper. Whom did they invite? I don't know whom they invited. Whom should I speak to? I don't know whom you should speak to.